Welcome back. It is Mark Hirschi with the Movified podcast and owner of Salmon's Moving and Storage, located in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. And we're here. It is the final day. It is the final podcast at the Moving Titan Retreat. If you have been tuning in live at the Moving Titan Retreat or you were here in person, you experienced an amazing 3 days of speakers and content that you need to go back home and definitely implement. And if you haven't, reach out to me, message me, and I can definitely fill you in with some of the speaker content and videos. But forget that. Like we're not even talking about that right now, because I have a moving company owner that you've seen skyrocket in his local area. It's Karsten Desario. I'll say it like 3 times. You know, like you say like Desario, and then I think of like pizza, right? And yeah, he's like Mario, right? So, sorry, buddy. With Kinetic Movers is located in
York, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. And these guys, I've watched his journey from having like a basic truck to kind of getting started to doing this whole branding. The trucks have been deckled. Like, you're killing it out there. How you feeling?
Feeling great.
Good.
Great.
Good. Poor guy. Just so some contents on this podcast. We're walking by and I said, let's go. All right. We've been talking the last couple of days, getting everything set up. We've been talking pre this trip, and I finally want to get in the podcast. I feel like I have like the #1 fan that watches this and pushes it everywhere I was going. Carson's like, hey, are you watching Movified? Because I'm learning so much content from this, and it's been great, and I really appreciate it. And thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Like, you got to come out. We're got to sit down for at least 10 minutes and let me pick your brain, because, you know, always the big question that I love to ask people is, like, what got you into the moving world? Like, why moving?
Why moving? It's the first job that I actually enjoy doing. So I think like a lot of others, like I hear, I kind of had a little bit of a trouble background. So I was trying to clean up my life after getting out of jail. And, I've always been a horrible employee. I've never liked any job I've worked at. And then moving was, I got hooked up with moving. I just absolutely loved it. I love like everything about it. I felt like I was working out, getting paid to work out. It was a new experience all the time. Just that personal experience with like the clients, man. Like it's like that. It's such a pivotal moment in their life that like you get to be a part of that, and then that gratitude that they show you when you do a good work, it's just like unexplainable.
And I love that, because, you know, it's one of the big things that they've said in the last couple of days, and they were asking everybody going, how are you passionate about your business? Are you passionate about moving, right? Like, do you live, sleep, and breathe your business and the trade that you're in? Because if you don't, like, get out.
Exactly.
Right. So, for me, okay, great. You love moving. You really have found a passion of it. But, it's one of the same questions I asked Landon Franchow when he was on my podcast, being, from Utah, being in a very Mormon community and very church centered. The guy's got like the wildest tattoo. Looks like me. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I was FaceTiming my son yesterday, and he's like, I got a bee sting. I'm like, you want to see a bee sting? Landon, come over here. Show him your neck tattoo. Right. And he's, it's just wild. And my son's like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Actually, it was like my inspiration when I see them all the moving company owners unite. I'm like, oh, cool. An owner that looks like me. I see pictures. He had snake bites, his neck glasses. So I was like, cool, man.
This holiday season, stand out like never before. Moving Letters AI is here to make your moving company unforgettable with handwritten Christmas cards starting at just $3.99 for your first 100. These aren't just cards, they're a personal touch that builds trust, loyalty, and referrals. With semi-custom designs tailored for movers, you'll leave an impression that lasts long after the holidays are over. So why wait? Let your clients know you care, turn goodwill into your greatest marketing tool, and make this season your most memorable yet. Visit Moving Letters AI today and start delivering that personal touch, handwritten, heartfelt, and unforgettable. Moving Letters AI, where personal touch meets lasting impressions.
So for me, I'm really, I talk about like image and everything else, because, like, to be honest, too many people judge a book by its cover, right? I've had employees like yourself that come work for me and I'm like, dude, like, this is the image that we represent. This is what's going on. You know, it's fine, but here's a company hat, you know, like take out the rings, like off your lips. Like there's like this certain image and everything else. How are you when you try and build culture within your company? Do you take it when, you know, people judge quickly, right? So people are looking at you going like, I don't know if I want to work with them. Like, you know, and maybe they do, but like, how do you try and differentiate yourself going, look, like, you know, some of these tats are before my time, like, you know.
I think my personality and I think our culture just speaks for itself. And people look past that. I know when I do walkthroughs, you know, I put on a hat to cover my head tattoos. I put on glasses. I still got my piercings in, but you know, when I'm coming in with a polo tucked in, and I got shoe booties in my hand with, you know, dress shoes on, I'm stepping in, putting on shoe booties. I think in the way I present myself, I think I put their mind at ease. So I think they could read. You know, I'm a big believer in like you could read energy. So I think we present that. You know, a lot of my guys are tatted up, but we portray a very professional image too. So I kind of like to look at it as like kind of a new school type of.
And I love that too, right? But that's really cool because you know that really, you know, can have such a great cultural mindset when you're hiring people and when people are utilizing your moving services, right? Because it's don't do the judge by a book by its cover, right? Like really engage in and as a business owner, when you are in that situation, you know, where you're like, I don't know if I could start a moving company because XYZ, you know, I have the tattoos, I maybe have this issue. Maybe it's an accent, right? There's so many guys that I met in the last couple of days where their accents are pretty heavy and they're moving company owners. And that sometimes, you know, it's a hindrance. Reagan Weiss talked about it where he's like, man, I hate my smile or I hate my nose, right? And he's like, I just constantly am looking myself in the mirror and how do I judge myself? But if you can change it around with your personality, the way you represent yourself, right? How you act towards others, it radiates that, right? People see that. And I've noticed that with yourself, you know, and how we've talked on the phone, how we've communicated, how, you know, we've been talking the last couple of days. Your personality is like electric and people see that, right? And people are drawn to that. So when you're putting that in your business, I mean, it's like the sky's the limit for you guys. How many trucks are you guys running right now?
Two right now. I mean, we are ready for a third one though, so I'm looking into a third one right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are some of your goals for your moving company and for yourself, walking away from this retreat that you want to implement for 2025?
So the biggest thing I'm going to implement that I've heard in this retreat is I liked a lot of what Reagan Weiss said. I'm really going to focus a lot more on like organic referrals, getting more out into the community, doing more community events, which I've already started putting into process. So I just joined a BNI. I've done a few organizations. I've contributed to some Toys for Tots, done some donations, got involved in the community, and I'm really going to try and like just get more involved. And some of the tips that Reagan Weiss said is, I know the picking the top 5 or, you know, picking your 5 businesses. I'm like, man, I really got to focus on that more because I'm so like busy because I'm wearing so many hats. That part kind of slacks a lot. Like I don't really put a lot of energy into like cultivating those, you know, or nurturing those relationships. So that's my focus of when I'm coming back is just to cultivate those relationships and get more involved.
Nice. And get your third truck.
Yeah, and get my third truck. Yeah, absolutely. That's good. That's coming.
So also it was funny because when we were doing a podcast with Stephen Reed, we had 2 types of conversations about one being guys like yourself that have the opportunity to move forward now. One of the biggest things that I would suggest for yourself is to get a VA, is to find 1 or 2 tasks that you're just like, oh my God, I don't have time for, whether it's the social media, whether it is just organizing yourself or someone that is dealing with like answering the phone, getting that taken care of, and getting a VA for it is so important. If you can get those mundane tasks off your plate, you can then focus more on your business, right? And the other thing is to take what you are learning and having the opportunity to learn and then actually going home and implementing it, right? The biggest problem is you go home, you're super pumped. That first week, you're super pumped. And then week 2, you're like, oh shit, I'm so busy now and I don't have time for it anymore, right?
Business, yeah.
That's right.
Mover Marketing AI is changing the game for moving companies with their innovative digital marketing solutions. I've been working with them on my SEO and website, and the results are incredible. My online presence has improved, making my site both visually appealing and highly visible to potential customers. But that's not all they do. Mover Marketing AI offers a full range of services, from engaging social media management to robust branding, advertising, and public relations. They help you build a strong, trustworthy brand. If you're ready to elevate your moving business, I highly recommend Mover Marketing AI. They've been a game changer for me, and they can be for you too. Thanks to Mover Marketing AI for sponsoring this episode and for their support.
I am heading to Pennsylvania, right? In your area, right? In Pennsylvania.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to learn my states. And being in Canada, let me ask you what provinces that you know in Canada. So in Pennsylvania, not exact.
I know Vancouver. They say, what is it? BC.
In Vancouver, yeah. There you go. You're like, done. Oh, these people, these Americans in geography. I'm in Pennsylvania. I run into you. You're in your Kinetic Movers shirt, and I'm looking to relocate. We have to share an elevator together. You've heard this before on my spiel, right? Give me an elevator pitch about why I should use your moving company when I'm in Pennsylvania.
All right. All right. I've heard a lot. I've heard you ask this before. Now I put all this spot. It sounds a lot harder to do, but yeah. I'm Karsten. I own Kinetic Movers. I've got an awesome team. I got an A-star team. We operate off of 4 core values, which is integrity, family, growth, and creating raving fans. And I implement those heavily. My team, like, in return, it gives us just like a culture unmatched. My guys are gonna come in. We're gonna pad up your whole home before we even start. All your furniture is gonna get wrapped before it leaves. You're gonna laugh. My guys are awesome. They're gonna make you laugh. You're gonna be wowed. At the end, you're gonna be asking where to write a 5-star review.
Dude, I love that. That is really good.
I'm stumbling over my words like, oh, bro.
No, and you know what? And I tell you one thing, being part of communities and associations like BNI, your Chamber of Commerce, a Rotary Club, a builders association, like all of these types of networks where you actually have to get up and give an elevator pitch, you eventually become so good at it that when I ask you again when you're on my podcast in like a year from now and you're like, dude, I just hit 5 trucks now. I didn't even get 3. I skipped over 3 and went right to 5. You're gonna kill that elevator pitch. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'll see you in a year or two. So.
Oh, but thanks so much for coming on the show. For everybody tuning in, just make sure you're checking us out on YouTube. If you like what you see, make sure you subscribe, like it, share it, and check us out on Spotify as well too, and Apple Podcasts. And until next time, stay movified.
Hi, I'm Mark Hirschi with Salmon's Moving and Storage. Today, I want to talk about tying up training. Why? Because this is Netflix grade quality training. It's not those old videos and VHSs that you got hiding in your office somewhere. It's online, it's easy to use, they're short videos, but they get to the point. My new employees, these guys run through these training programs, there's tests at the end, and they're coming out going, oh, I'm ready to rock. So if you haven't checked out Tying Up Training yet, get a demo done. Get on board. Guess what else is there? Online portals for my sales staff. Can you believe it? These guys can learn how to overcome objections and book more leads today. So what are you waiting for? Go check out Tying Up Training today.